Now, I'm sure you heard the sound. Now,
I just expose a feeling that you know, your attention is on me now, so I have to give some result. I have to I have to, solve the spiritual problem. Um,
good you expose that, because there can be this kind of mind game. But the fact is that if you were to say, if you were to say, you were to ask me, so what do I feel? I feel like everyone is always free. You see? You don't have to prove it to me. You
mm,
see, the doctor knows that there's no disease. You see, it's only that the doctor is working on the belief system of the disease itself. You see, so it's just a belief system, and it's gone. Every moment, it's gone actually. So I have one for you actually, and this is my new favorite question. You see, I used to say often that if knowing even one thing was to know too much, what do you know when you know nothing? And I realized that nobody was engaging with that question. So now I got a new version of that question, and it's much simpler, hopefully, which is what do you find without the mind? And it even rhymes, so it's very attractive. What do you find without the mind? You see? So, in the mind, what do you find? Conclusion, judgment, interpretation, labeling, difference, duality, doership, desire. All of this is what you find in the mind. Without this, what do you find? You see? Not even the seeker is there. Not even like, I have to find. No? And yet, we have to use the word provisionally. Something is recognized there. You see? Something is recognized which is not a thing. You see? There's no thinginess to it. There's no quality or quantity there. You see? There is no perception needed. Perception can come, but it's independent of perception. It's that simple. What do you know when you know nothing? It's the same thing, put in a different way. It's a different quality of knowing. It's a different quality of recognition. It's different from recognizing hand, face, voice, isn't it? So it's not nothing, and yet it is not a thing. You may say, for example, that when I know nothing, I still know that I am. You see, but this knowing doesn't need the words I am. You see? It is just the 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 sense of being. You see, but you may say even that, even more primal, even more intimate than this is I, independent of am or not am, being or not being. And these are just words that are to be used as pointers. These are not the truths. They are not the truth. They're just pointers. Because what you discover when you're absent of all notions, in the absence of all notions, is something beyond any conceptualization. This unborn, or this intuitive intelligence or intuitive insight, really, the minute you put words to it, you see, it starts to take shape in some way. You see. Not really, but in our mind it starts to take shape. So stay in your nakedness, stay in your nakedness, and the minute there's a temptation to, you see, go to some meaning, this is what this means, this is what this is, you see, because making mental meaning is just an attack on God, basically, and that's also meaning. So I'm just using it for dramatic effect. So, you see, so what happens is that God is so naturally present, you are so naturally present, that the minute you try to bottle yourself up in conceptual ideas, you see, you bottle yourself up in a concept, you draw a boundary around yourself and the world. So just remain naturally as you are. Don't take any shape. And if, as the question started, the feeling of some fear, some sensation is arising, let it come. Treat it as auspicious. Let it come. And if it's not arising, treat that as auspicious too. Don't worry. It's all good.